Well, here we are. We finally got the patch notes for this update coming. The new update we are looking for is on June the 30th. This is the Path 3 update. A really important one because this is exactly what we all been waiting for, that big massive gunplay change. If you didn't see yesterday's video, don't worry, I will be explaining that in today's video, but there is much more to this update what we're talking about today. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe as well, and let's get ourselves into it. We are getting ourselves a new event. It's the Wet Works event. Make sure to expect multiple challenges what you can work on. And we also have a new mode coming in. It's Casual Battle Royale. If you guys have played Casual Breakthrough for the multiplayer side, then you know what it is. It's 8v8 when it comes to real players and the rest are all just bots. Well, this is the same thing. They are just having the bots for the Battle Royale to help people learn the mode. I know there's a whole debate about the casual mode itself, but I'll let you guys talk about that in the comment section below. Obliteration is coming back in, but it's going to be called Tactical Obliteration. Basically, what this is more of the infantry focused. What we previously had before, it had all of the vehicles as well, so it's complete pure chaos. And there was nothing wrong with that mode. I actually kind of enjoyed it. The only thing I kind of didn't like about it was you have them gunfights, a lot of consistency, and then out of nowhere, it's just boring. You have to run to the other side of the map to just get a gunfight again. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I'm pretty curious to see how this mode is going to turn out, all infantry based. That's what I'm excited about. That's definitely the mode I'm going to be playing. The weapon change. The biggest topic of it all, as the gunplay has got a massive change. Honestly, I feel like this is definitely gonna add a skill factor to the game. Makes you guys play the weapons longer, understand them, treat them the right way it's supposed to perform. And after a while, you're gonna master that craft with that weapon. And then you can challenge yourself and switch on to another. Get that proper feel between each weapon. So you understand what weapon you're using. If you're going for like an assault rifle, an LMG, or an SMG. With the changes, the biggest one is the muzzle velocity change. This is going to change the entire gunfights, especially when it comes to tracking and when it comes to your medium range gunfights. This is where you're going to notice the biggest difference. The muzzle velocity change is going to get a big decrease on all of its weapons, but many of them are getting that decrease up to 15 to 20% or even higher than that. And that's a big deal. Because now, when it comes to using these weapons, you are going to get this point where sometimes you have to overlead your shots. Have you guys ever sniped before and it comes to sniping and you don't exactly aim on the head, you aim further so you make sure that bullet goes to the drop into their head. That's how it's going to be like with these weapons, especially the SMGs at their medium ranges. You're going to notice it probably on the carbines. Assault rifles and LMGs should be performing a little bit more further than that, but you got to start learning to lead them shots a bit more when it comes to these gunfights. I think the hardest ones is probably going to be the burst fires. I think automatics themselves should be okay, but this is where the tricky stuff comes into. And as I said, it's becoming more of a skillful thing, because you can't just spray and pray with a weapon at the medium range distances because of the visual recoil and the recoil itself. And the way to counter that is to tap fire. And that's where everything becomes harder, because you don't just have to track the target. You have to track the target by tap firing so you can keep that consistent accuracy. And that's where everything gets harder. But in a nice thing, they are working on the recoil patterns for many of the guns, where the recoil pattern itself will always perform the same. None of that random recoil pattern. It's extremely annoying. You guys have used the TR7, right? It's been all over the place and it's too hard to understand because it's just so inconsistent. But the recoil patterns, what you will be receiving is going to be the same all of the time. And that's why I said before, when it comes to using weapons, you want to use one weapon first, understand it, learn it before you start moving on to others. And once you use so many, you already have mastered that craft. It's still going to be a challenge because of how the gunplay works. It's going to get to the point where someone can't just jump into this game and just expect to do well all of the time. It will get to a point where you actually have to put some time or hours into it to get better. And I understand that not everyone has the time to always play Battlefield. I totally understand that. And it's not so much about how much hours you put into the game, but it's more about understanding how the game works. And this gunplay change is going to add that whole factor of learning. But don't worry, it is also the snipers as well. They have got some of the biggest decrease when it comes to muzzle velocity. And I think many of you guys are pretty happy with that, because I know there's a lot of OG people sniped from BF3 to BF4, and you guys had some of the massive bullet drops on that. If you guys are a sniper fan from the previous Battlefields, this is going to be a really good change when it comes to that. Many people will look at the sniper nerf, but many people will look at it as a sniper buff. With that change, the time to kill is also going to get its first change into the game, but it's not exactly as you would thought. They are going to be adding limb multiplier into the game. I think many of us have been waiting for this, and to be honest, it should have been from day one. Honestly, it should have been in the beta. The only time there is limb multiplier in Battlefield 6 was for the snipers, but nothing else. Everything was exactly the same. You would do the same damage if you shot him in the chest as you would in the arms and legs, but now that's going to be different. Many of the guns, it's going to be more of a 9% difference. Some of them are going to be up to 12% difference of shooting your target in the arm and the leg. As that change is happening, it's not going to be that point where you shoot someone and it takes 3 bullets to kill. It could take 4 bullets to kill. And as I was saying previously, when it comes to tracking target and all of the massive gunplay change, if someone's running sideways and you're shooting them, it's going to take more bullets to kill them. Make sure you are focusing on the head. I have heard everyone talking about this. I streamed recently and I was talking to my viewers about how the gunplay was, and many people wasn't a big fan of the headshot multiplier. There's technically going to be 3 different multipliers when it comes to the head, and I understand many of you guys are not a big fan of that. I am the same way as well. But what can we do? They already have ammunition types what can increase the headshot multiplier. That's just something we have to deal with. If we could get rid of it, it would be nice, but it's too far gone, especially adding them ammunition types. The only thing we got to hope now is that they don't do anything else with that, so we don't mess about with the time to kill on any of the multipliers. Visibility is getting the change. They're sorting out the brighter locations. The visibility was a good change overall. I think many of you guys are happy with it. But in some areas, you're just too bright in areas where you shouldn't be brightened anyway. They're working on that to balance it out. But we all definitely can agree that the visibility change is really good for the game. I love how you can see people in a window now where they're taking cover and you can actually get them. It would be really annoying when you get sniped and you're just like, where was he? But now you can tell where he is. And with that change and also seeing them targets at a bit more further distance, I do like as well. What is nice is they are improving the portal side, just giving it some further updates. It also seems like they're working on the netcode problem. I think many of you guys have experienced it. You join a portal server and you're just lagging all over the place. Next thing you know, you think you're in Star Wars because you have a flying tank. One of the biggest things, obviously, as well, the 30Hz servers, that's really annoying. But that is the biggest problem when it comes to Portal. You try to join them, you just lag all of the time. It's just not fun to play. So hopefully that can fix it. I don't know. They have done it so many times. We just got to wait and see when the update does come out. Don't worry, I will be making a video when the update does go live to give you guys the full experience of how the update has turned out. Some of the rockets, especially the RPGs, are getting a buff. Not too big of a buff though, so don't freak out about it. It doesn't mean they're going to become powerful, but it does seem like they are really putting the RPG back to what it used to be. The RPG was absolutely fine. It didn't need to change at all, but they did change it, and they messed about with so much with it. But it does seem like they are reversing it, but not exactly what it was once before. Here we go again. I think this is the 8th time, and I'm not mad about it. I don't want anyone to think I'm trying to be sarcastic here, but we do have another netcode update. Once again, they have done this so many times, but as I said, I'm not sarcastic about it. It's a good thing. I understand this probably takes multiple times to fix and work on. So getting many updates like this, at least they are consistently doing it. But it does get to the point of how many updates do you need to keep doing? Because it does seem like every time we get these updates, it just doesn't really do too much. I think we can all agree on it. We are still dying behind corners. But in this update, they are going to be working on that. But they're also going to be working on the netcode from a close range bubble. It's really hard to explain really, but they are working on the netcode itself for its close range to make the combats the same. And I guess that's because of how the TDK works. I think there's been many times where you guys have a gunfight with someone with a really high rate of fire weapon and they kill you so quick that you actually thought you got sniped. They're working on netcoding with that right now. So this is the first time where they're doing something when it comes to the distance of gunfights. And the close range is definitely one of the first things they need to work on because of how fast the time to kill is. The netcode is a must on that. And I think we can all agree on it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all turns out. And to put the icing on the cake, all the orange dots will be no more. They did it previously before and it was just for all of the weapon slots, but now it's going to be on everything. It'll be the entire class now, your customization when it comes to your characters, and also your battle pass. You just hit one button and you get rid of all of them orange dots. Thank you very much for listening to me talk, troopers. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this update. As I said, once it does go live, I will be making a new video about it, talking about how exactly it all turns out. That'll be a very busy day, but I'm excited for it. Leave a like, subscribe as well, and I'll see you on the battlefield.